constantly praising Zion PVD.
We are into the draft for the final game of ESL 1 Frankfurt 2014, and we already have a familiar lineup.
I think we might have seen this before.
Yeah, indeed, and it's the Wisp Tiny. I think we were talking before this game and said IG is not going to give EG the Wisp Tiny. And it happened this time, but they do get the boy that they were denied on game 2, but finally got here. It's going to be interesting. Enigma, Doom outside, Ember Spirit not gonna happen. And look at EG. They banned the Lycan even though they are dire themselves.
Yeah, that's how worried they are, I guess.
Yeah.
I think both teams start out with picks that we have seen them be weak with. IG lost with the Faceless Void, and EG was pressured a lot when they had the Tiny going up against Navi earlier today. It hasn't been their shining moments.
Well, there's Mr. Gold back in the lineup.
I really like the synergy between Invoker and Faceless Void.
It is awesome.
Like when you think about the, I mean, it's not skill shots, but the thing is that most of Invoker spells are not single target. You just throw them away, AoE, you have the Tornado, you have the Deafening Blast, you have the Meteor, and just having the Chronosphere as a setup not only makes you land the spells easily, but also gives you extra time so that you can get the extra invoke for the plus spell that will make you win the team fight. Just do not Tornado people inside of the Chronosphere, that's not nice.
I actually haven't seen Luo play Tornado Invoker. So
No, he doesn't.
I don't think there's a risk for that happening.
No, I don't think
Ferrari does though. I mean,
What?
Ferrari does play the plus X
yes,
Invoker.
that's
He's
true.
very known for that.
Seb, before the draft finishes, because we're still early, you said EG was gonna win. Do you want to change your prediction?
I think EG can beat IG if they force them to play their game. I really want to stick to that. And
Okay, well, in that case, then I'm going to raise the stakes a little bit, right? Whoever loses the bet has to buy the first round at the Twitch party.
all right, of the whole.
Yeah, all 800.
I think it's 900.
I'm gonna go for like.
Oh, 800 I would have taken. 900 I'm not sure.
I didn't know whether I could shift
If
in.
it's 8 or 9.
But you know, actually, Seb has it right. Because if you win, you will beat us all. But if you lose, you'll be called the Artosis of Dota.
I will.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know about
Then
the
you
Artosis
every
curse?
team.
I don't.
You know Artosis, right?
Yeah, I do.
StarCraft 2 commentator. Whenever he says this guy is gonna win, he loses.
At least he has the power. So
Yeah, he has. It's actually power. So use it wisely. Seb.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been using it wisely all weekend because he only actually got one prediction right.
Really?
Yeah.
if I get that one right.
Yeah, but then this one overturns all of them, so I guess he wins.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the Wisp Tiny is it's passive in the sense that they're going to be looking to at least in the early game dodge maybe the first initiation. Like I'm really looking forward to see how they lane that because IG must know what's going on.
Why are both teams ignoring Potter?
Not sure yet, but there was one thing I wanted to point out. Actually, two things. EG is playing Dire side with the Wisp Tiny combo, so they cannot do the mid
The
pull.
pull. Yeah.
IG is playing Radiant with the Faceless Void, who arguably have an easier off lane to play, so they can put him there. I think the draft is definitely in IG's favor so far.
It is.
That is assuming the Faceless Void is actually going to the offlane, which
Yes, but
it is a possibility and most likely, but they can surprise us if they need to. And the thing is that EG, will they put the Wisp Tiny mid? They did that last time.
Most
didn't
likely, yes.
they? And against an Invoker, let's say this is a Ferrari Invoker. Will
Ferrari, he'll go Quas Wax, I think, versus
I think it
these
is okay
two.
versus this.
And he'll
Yes.
be fine.
That
Okay.
would be fine.
Quas Exort, I think he'll actually die. But he's smart enough to go Quas Wax.
Cool.
Right now, EG didn't choose anything to abuse the Roche. They had the Lanaya early on. They had other heroes right now, so we're looking to one of those heroes, I think. They revealed anything. We still have to, remember that Wisp Tiny can go safe lane. It doesn't have to be mid necessarily. It's a very strong safe lane to have. Maybe even offensive tri lane sometimes. It's a
But
bit
when's the last
harder.
time we've seen Mason mid or Mason play Tiny?
yeah, and
They don't do that.
IG has an excellent counter to go on the middle lane. They could go for a Lich Razor combo. We've seen them pick it with the Faceless Void in the past. And putting those two heroes mid would completely nullify Tiny's farm and also win the lane against them.
Yeah.
Well, I've taken.
We haven't seen them double lane though, so that's the problem. We've never seen IG double lane the middle lane.
Right, that's the thing. Actually, they don't. They don't at all. In all of 681, about 100 matches, they only did that twice. And just because out of necessity. But now we see the Potom that we were talking about. And that Potom can be a support, but in the case of EG, they also like to play with Mason a lot. The thing is, the question is, we haven't seen the tree, and when you get Wisp, Tree, and Tiny, which is still a possibility, you can go aggressive, and that's something that EG is doing too well. I hope IG has that in mind when the picks come, because Tree will stop a lot of the Faceless Void, and might be a good pick for EG.
It might definitely, but then in that case, they need something that can actually crush the Void if he's offlane, because Void is okay against bottom, I think, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Especially if he gets Poorman's Shield, I don't think bottom can actually outlane him. So maybe then we would be looking at the bottom mid, but we're guessing a lot right now. We need to have more information from IG. They did not reveal anything. As you said, they could run that Void on the carry role or on the offlane role. Same goes for the Invoker with the mid lane and the safe lane.
Oh, okay. Shadow Demon, when you see Invoker, you're thinking Exort Invoker. So now they are giving a little bit of information. Most likely that's going to be a safe lane Invoker with a Shadow Demon rotation, don't you think?
That seems more likely. But at the same time, what are they going to throw mid to handle the Wisp Tiny?
There's also one thing, Shadow Demon is very, very good versus Tiny. Like, the Purge is obviously good versus him, the Soul Catcher makes him not tanky at all, and obviously the Illusions when Tiny gets really fat.
Ferrari is 3-0 with OD. And we were talking yesterday about how Owl Devourer is a really, really good pick against Wisp Tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know who was Big Daddy saying, it was either Big Daddy or Jackie saying, OD actually is really, really, really good.
It is, but he's going to need a BKB, and I think IG wants to fight a lot earlier than having a OD farm BKB.
Okay.
They still need the mech carrier, in my opinion. The way they play, they abuse that early mech. And right now, it's not going to be Invoker. I mean, if it's mid, why not? We've seen players, I'm thinking of Fada, for example, use that early mech on Invoker.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be a Lua Invoker, then I don't think we're getting a mech. So they could be getting a hero on Ferrari that can get that item.
Let's face it, Fada does mech on everything. Mech Troll, mech
Vanguard.
Viper, and Vanguard, yeah.
Yeah, he does it.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Well, there's a first.
Yeah. Let me tell you,
we might see a mid Invoker.
we might see a mid Invoker, and that Wisp Tiny suddenly becomes a little bit less threatening right now.
You know what that could be? That could be a double lane and SD Kunkka mid with the help of the Exort Invoker. That means that Wisps cannot actually be in range of the disruption.
that's
because
true.
if he is, he insta-dies every time.
But if IG does that, then they will really have pulled a ace out of the sleeve. Slave? An ace out of the sleeve. I'm tired, sorry.
Yes.
Because we were talking about how they would never do that. IG might experiment. I really am digging this Kunkka pick.
Is Kunkka the hard counter to Wisp?
I'd say Disruptor is a hard counter to Wisp. But Kunkka is a second closest.
Timber's pretty good too.
The interesting thing, right? Like Wisp comes with the red arcade, kills whatever he has to do. 3, 2, 1, UX, not the Wisp, the carry. And like, well,
Exactly.
round two.
What's Universe going to play here? They banned out the Tide. There's no Bat Rider. And
They
there's
use
What about
Titan
Darkseer?
Darkseer.
with Tiny.
Darkseer?
Versus Navi, they use the Elder Titan with the Wisp Tiny.
Elder Titan is also a good
Yeah,
choice.
but they use the Elder Titan against an Anti-Mage. Which
Yeah.
made a lot of sense because Anti-Mage, 20 armor, all base armor.
Sorry, what?
Hi.
Damn it!
What are you saying?
Hi.
Damn it!
I
Hi
would
there.
really like to see the double mid because Invoker's gonna crush the Titan one-on-one. Void is gonna be okay, I think, versus Sand King bottom if he maxes backtrack. And then really, they're gonna be in trouble with the middle lane. And they still have one hero open. Like 4 versus 5, they're okay.
Whoa!
I don't even.
That's a Kunkka support.
It's support Kunkka.
Okay. It's game on, ladies and gentlemen. The grand final, game 3 of ESL 1 Frankfurt 2014. We are one game away from crowning our champion. Evil Geniuses versus Invictus Gaming. Let's go back to Toby 1 and Cinderin.
Cinderin, it's finally coming to a close. It's our final game of ESL 1 Frankfurt for 2014. EG versus IG. It might be our last game, but it's a game of firsts. We're getting a lot of heroes we haven't seen throughout the entire competition, as well as heroes we've seen a lot throughout the competition.
Yeah, just seeing IG pull out 2 new last picks in the deciding match just shows me that they have so much confidence in their ability here, and I love both picks. I think Queen of Pain is a hero that has had really poor success actually, so I think it's a very bold pick from IG. Most games in which Queen of Pain is picked, it always leaves you with that feeling after the game that another hero could have done the same, just better. A lot of the time it is referred to as the less good Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
And I think what Ferrari is going to be looking for in this game, IG's idea is their teamfight combination is absolutely insane, and they can shoot down heroes very, very quickly. If they land a good Chronosphere, their AoE damage is off the charts. They have Soul Catcher for all the single target bursts they have as well. And with a support Kunkka run this time around, I think IG's plan is they want to put as much pressure as possible on the IO Tiny lane, and they're going to run it as a dual roaming support, I believe. They're going to start a little bit down the bottom lane, but look at their inventories. This is a mark of aggression. Both of them are carrying some of the good purple stuff.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I've ever heard it described that way, but we can describe it as good nonetheless. I'm interested to see just how well this goes. Last time we saw support Kunkka was a very, very, very long time ago. And how EG are able to handle it, that's going to be a whole different question. But let's have a quick run through the remainder of our lineups right now. So we have YYF, he'll be playing the Faces Void in this game. Ferrari 430, that Queen of Pain, which we talked about, good on paper. Will he be good here in the grand final? One of Ferrari 430's signature heroes. He'll need to have to be amazing on that one. Luo, great invoker from final last game. Chuan, the support Kunkka. And that leaves Faith, the SD, the man who will be combining with the Admiral.
And on the side of the Evil Geniuses, no big surprise here that PPD will be playing the support Mirana. It's going to be Mason on the Sand King this time around, because we will have Zai playing the IO supporting the Tiny of Arteezy in the mid lane, and then finally Universe on his Elder Titan once more. Now this combo was what knocked out Na'Vi. It was Elder Titan with the Natural Order together with a Tiny doing 1,000 cleave damage when the enemies had 0 armor. It's kind of scary to play against, and if this game goes late enough, I think EG has a really good shot, but don't count out IG in a late game situation either. With both a Void, Queen of Pain, and an Invoker, these 3 heroes transition very well into the late game.
That they will, and it's going to work even better for them when we look over towards like that ET, because ET is going to get completely zoned out this lane. His one Observer Ward he had that was able to watch that bottom lane and see the rotation coming in from Faith and Chuan is now gone. So he's got only one option, and that's to stay back a very, very long way and just wait it out. He has no other choice right now. But the main thing we're also going to be watching is like Zai. Like, we had problems in previous games where we had double bottles being run on Wisp to try and make the Tiny work. That was just because of like timing and also getting sniped out very early on. But this time around, Zai's got the very early bottle, which means early aggression is just ripe here. At the same time, I'm seeing Ferrari actually play this lane perfectly. Keeping his distance, keeping the Shadow Strike going. The problem is though, is that damage really doing anything? Like, once we get Wisp having his level 2, and he has the Spirits to play around with, he can get him there, take a little bit more damage, and try and zone Ferrari out a little bit more. But until that point, it kind of feels like Ferrari will have the upper hand here. But after that point, I don't see the Queen of Pain really being able to stand properly on this lane like he is right now.
Ferrari's job in this lane is not to win it. He's playing a 1-on-2 lane. If he gets good farm and good experience, he's going to be more than happy. And so far, he's doing very, very well here in the mid lane. Yeah, I was going to put on some harassment here with the Spirits.
No, it's not even that, man. It's this and this. That is 3 times right there.
Yeah, they want the Sand King to go and farm that up, I guess. Or they want to farm it together with the Tiny and get him very strong. It could be either, but since Sand King is in the lane, I think the Tiny is the more obvious choice as well. I would agree with that. But yeah, as far as the mid lane's going, looking good for IG. Their Invoker is also getting loads of farm in the bottom lane, completely dominating Universe in this off lane. Of course, he did have the supports backing him up in the beginning, but he's 15 for 6 against 1-0.
Yeah. Man, what this draft from EG actually reminds me of is a player who, like, I'm actually sad he's not going to be a TI4 now, but back when he played in Mousesports, Black, who played a safe lane SK. And the reason why it's making me flag is because he's got 2 points up in the Burrow Strike, and then he's got a 1-1. So the 1 point up in Caustic Finale. Ferrari taking a little bit of harassment damage here, Toss as well, but he'll just back himself up and the bottle charges just keep him up. But what happens with this is, you're able to just get like basic boots. You're up against a melee hero too. Caustic Finale makes it so you take a large portion of damage if you try and come in close without pushing the wave out too much. But the main thing is, you get Arcanes and Blink Dagger. You then come and roam and gank, and it's the timing attack which you're really looking for. So you rotate him out and you'll switch somebody else to go towards that top lane. And in this case, it's probably just going to be PPD. And what it changes in the game is you're running 2 semi-carries as well as your basically burst combo and offlaner. That's what they're searching for here. They want to have Mirana with a large portion of damage.
I think they're searching for something else right now, Toby.
I think you are 100% right.
I think they're going to find it.
Gonna be China. And there's disruption. This will be First Blood. Shat already the Sunstrike. Perfect on Arteezy. First Blood is built by Invictus Gaming.
X as well.
They're not finished. They can't go high ground. They've already used all their mana here. But Invictus Gaming, that support combo comes in and works beautifully, exactly as intended.
And something I wanted to point out before that happened, I generally don't bring up the experience in gold this early, but I really want you to check out the experience. This is quite a big deal. Oh, the gold is a big deal too.
Yeah, it's the same, man.
Now, this, of course, the first blood just happened, which of course makes a big difference, but I want to look at the offlanes for a second. We've got the Radiant versus Dire offlane, of course, where the Radiant offlane is usually better, but in this case, Universe is being locked out of the lane. YYF is level 5 in the top lane. Universe just got level 2 because the supports rotated away. He was actually level 1.
Going mid lane again.
There we go again.
Disruption, Sunstrike already Arteezy. Second time he bites the dust. Zai being chased. Screamers off cooldown in 1 second, but they just need a little bit more time for the Shadow Strike. There's your attack. Ferrari picks up another kill in the middle lane. Esty as well. And it's Ferrari's first kill there. It's the second kill for Esty. He came in with a TD room for that gank this time around. And look at the balls of YYF. Mr. Level 5 up here, as you were saying before. He just comes so close to PPD. He's actually really close to hitting that chrono already for the off-lane faceless void of Invictus Gaming.
He's got pretty much full solo lane experience here. I don't think he's been held away at all because EG's heroes can't do it. Sand King Mirana is a good dual lane, but Void with the point and backtrack as well as the Pullman shield, he just has so much tank ability that you can't really zone him out of the lane with the Mirana's harassment. She has 50 base damage and he blocks 20 damage every time plus a 6 armor, so it's very hard to do. And now, as far as this mid lane goes, I want to talk a little bit about Queen of Pain because in many games, as I said, you're left with that feeling that, wow, another hero could have done something else. But if there's one thing Queen of Pain is very good at, it's snowballing. If she gets a good start, she can solo a lot of heroes, massive burst damage potential, and she's been given all the support she needs. She's got 1 kill and 2 assists. And actually already on the hunt at level 5. This is pretty unusual stuff here from Ferrari.
Normally you wait until like your level 7, so you got your Sonic Wave as well as your Scream as well as mana to support the whole thing. But I suppose if you're just looking for a support hero and YYF has already been on the edge here, like he's got his Chrono already available. Tiny's also taking a lot of damage. He's still farming up inside the jungle, but YYF, all it's going to be is 1 leap and he has a kill. But they're looking for more. They're looking for the SK. They don't want him to have that early Blink Dagger. That's the primary thing they want gone. But it's already a little bit too late. I know we're here during night, it's 12 a.m. So we're still here during the daytime. The vision's still quite good. But a lot of time wasted here for Ferrari 4-3-0. He's not going to be happy about this. Even though Chuan, actually he's almost level 6 now on this Kunkka. Like, maybe they are still happy about it. The farm which Kunkka has been managed to pull out from this is really, really high. And bringing a ship 6.5 minutes in from a support Kunkka, that's going to change these fights around massively.
And the really important thing about the ship is it's good for 2 reasons, right? It gives you the buff and it deals a lot of damage and stuns in the AoE. I think the buff is the bigger deal in this game. In some games you would say that the nuke is really important, but I don't think it's the damage that IG need from the ship at all, and it's also not the stun. They just need the ship so that they can stay alive through the incredible burst damage EG will have later on in the game. It can help them survive against the epicenter, it can help them survive against the damage of the tiny burst combo, of course, with avalanche toss, etc. And Chuan,
right now,
he's going to open
he's got
now.
Support coming in. The X-Mark spot torrent is keeping Arteezy out. Ferrari comes in with a scream, already hitting on Mason. It was a rotation smoke gang from PPD as well as Mason from the top lane, searching for an opening.
Oh,
and now disruption catcher. This is trouble for PPD. He's in a lot of trouble and down. Ferrari claims his 2nd kill here. The Chinese lead 4-0 here in our final deciding match.
And IG are so much in their comfort zone. Again, they get to run this safe lane Invoker who is farming way more than any hero in the game because the others are forcing rotations all the time. So EG, they move their safe lane Sand King to try and get something done in the mid lane. Luo just stands his ground in the bottom lane. He doesn't move. He knows he can contribute with the Sunstrike and get far ahead. And again, if you look at the net worth, we're starting to see a pattern similar to the last game where he just pulled far ahead of everyone else. He's already 1,200 net worth ahead of the secondary farmer, or the highest farmer in EG, rather, I should say, as the secondary farm is actually their own as well, and the Queen of Pain of Ferrari. IG are cruising already. This is a really, really good early game for them. They've gained 500 GPM more than EG across their team. That's 100 GPM for every hero on average in an 8-minute game. That's huge.
The really, really crazy thing is the fact that YYF still has done all of this without getting a chrono. Now they just spotted him, but with a haste rune on YYF, the leap away from PVD is going to be the only thing that will save him. And they leave aggressive Observer Wards now out. They're watching that bottom lane completely, and YYF, he just runs to the bottom lane. Maybe he's going to help Luo try and force this one out. Also should note too, once Luo hits level 9, he's got the double Forge Spirits already up as well. Like, it's not just the fact he's finding farm, he's got a lot of levels on this bottom lane. The new creep wave arrives, and the ET Spirit will be able to drag it back now, so that's at least one nice thing. But you're seeing what they're doing now, like Chuan. He has level 6, and they're still giving him space in the middle lane. Void switches back up towards the top lane. And I haven't seen Zai or Arteezy actually on the lane for a while. They've just been farming up inside the jungle where it's safe.
And Lua is getting a level per minute, 9 minutes in. It's pretty damn good here. And because of that, level 9 is a really big level for Invoker to hit always when he plays Quas Exhort, because that's when you get the double Forge Spirit. And don't underestimate the impact that could have on this game if he's able to push very heavily in that bottom lane. Now we're going to see IG rotating again. The ward up here is their own, so they're actually not in danger of being scouted out just yet.
I kind of want to talk about their warding after this right now, but man, because if you check across the map, it's quite good. But YYF, okay, leaping Chrono is on Mason. He just wants the kill. Blink in, Scream gets in range, Mason's dead. That's simple. Wisp and Tiny, they cannot respond. It is level 6, but they have no mana for it. But yeah, let's check out this warding, man. Top rune, Observer Sentry. We got Sentry 1, we got Sentry 2. The funny thing is, it doesn't actually see the Observer Ward of the die here in the middle lane, but then Observer Sentry on bottom lane. They are making sure EG cannot rotate without instantly being flagged. It's a very early warning flag system as well. The only ways to come out properly is either direct through the bottom lane or up through the top. And they have to walk down the lane, which means they go past a creep wave. And it looks like EG are cottoning onto the fact, like they're being watched like a hawk.
PPD realizes it and goes and counter wards, but this is a very, very poor Mirana. If there's one thing EG usually get in their games, they get farm supports. They tend to get off to a good early game, but this time around PPD is starved, and we're going to see how he plays from behind. He's got 500 net worth in a 10-minute game. Doesn't even have boots yet on a Mirana at 10 minutes, and Mirana is one of the heroes that's actually really relevant to get boots on, because sure, you can hit your arrow, but it is a hero that is based around its mobility. And yeah, without those boots, even if you leap, you can still get caught up too. So he has to be a little bit more careful with his play right now.
I'll be watching up there on that top lane again.
Find anything at this point.
Mason returns with Blink Dagger Epicenter, and he might try and give this a crack. They know YYF's ulti is currently on cooldown, but with Observer Ward already down, and again, EG, they feel safe because they put down a Sentry Ward, but it's only just a couple of inches away from that Radiant Observer Ward. So they are still being very, as you said, watched. Also, 25 seconds left on Chronosphere. Once that's off cooldown, they'll just look for an opening. One person just has to be an inch away, just an inch too far out of position, and they're going to pounce. In the meantime, though, we are running a hand of Midas, Tiny, Wisp, jungle combo. I would say they're a mid combo, but they're not a mid combo anymore. They're a jungle combo. They have lost their tier 1 tower in middle lane, which normally you'd say would be a bad thing. But in this game, I think it's actually probably the best thing that could have happened to EG. Because now it means they're deeper into enemy territory, which means IG have to venture into riskier territory if they want to try and kill off this combo when they move between the jungle and the mid lane.
And I was indeed expecting IG to try to lock down this mid lane of EG and give Ferrari a good start.
Here they come.
They did even better than I thought. Yeah, Zai.
His Scream already going. There goes Zai. And Arteezy, he is so dead. He's all washed up with a boat coming over the top. Ferrari is on a killing spree, and Boca was the one who actually took the last hit there. And with the Necro units level 2, almost level 3, if this tower goes down, he actually already has. Oh no, it's only a level 1, sorry. They'll have a level 2 Necro book after this. Well, DD Rune over Ferrari. They're forcing down the lane. Void has Chrono back off cooldown again. And with an X-Torrent always waiting to be cast, EG have to be so careful. And just faces Void taking top tier 1.
And just when you thought, after you watched the last game, that it couldn't get any better from IG, they have been playing a flawless game so far. Their strategy has worked, their lanes worked out beautifully, they're completely out-farming and out-maneuvering EG, who haven't even got a kill in a 12-minute game. I think this is a first, maybe for EG.
It's really just been slow for their course, man.
So far, maybe. Through since they created this roster, I don't know if we've seen them in an official game at 13 minutes without a kill. IG just reading them like an open book. And
Ferrari boy, Chrono, he got Zai, the arrows coming out, but Ferrari took a point-blank range, so YYF unaffected, the Scream's going, the Sunstrike comes in. Already Arteezy low on life, Mason comes in for the epicenter, Ferrari low on life, 5 one-shotters come off, he's moving out, Mason has no more mana, the ship's coming in, connects on Mason, pulls him out. 2 on the sideline, still no casualties of war. Arteezy has to back up, the Shadow Strike's ticking him out at the moment. Ferrari's also bailing out. He's almost fit. He's got his first Oblivion stuff on the ground. He is getting closer and closer towards that Orchid as well. And then he can kiss your ass goodbye. IG are walking all over EG. They've taken almost all tier 1 towers. That bottom one has to go down. But apart from that, EG just can't seem to catch a break anywhere across the map. Even for all their farming in the jungle, it hasn't brought them anything. Wisp relocate gank, haven't seen it be effective at all. In fact, I haven't even seen a relocate from Zai.
Well, where would he go? It's kind of a problem right now that it's IG with a superior vision, it's IG with a superior aggression, and one of the fundamental things that you need to have in order to play an IO really effectively is that you need to have the ability to get out on the map. But it's always IG coming to EG. They're setting up beautifully every single time and getting so much more out of them. As PPD actually almost gets killed here.
It looks like he took a Sunstrike.
Iron Cannon from Luo. Hitting pretty damn hard there on PPD, who has to go back to base. Still not level 6 on the Mirana. Oh yeah, this is good stuff coming out from IG. Top 3 farmers by a lot right now. Luo, then it's down to YYF and Ferrari. All 3 of them above 6k net worth in a 14-minute game. They've almost got 1,000 gold per minute more than EG's lineup at this point. Closing in on 12,000.
Zai and Arteezy. They'll see Chuan and Faith. Avalanche toss combo over on the 2. Bestie, defensive disruption. Chuan, did he get the X? He got the Torrent, not the X. But the relocate will drag them back in a moment, or at least it will drag back the Wisp. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then Funeral Procession is set up here by Luo and Faith. Faith! Ooh. The Whisper's not enough damage, and Ferrari, he'll have enough damage. Universe is a DD rune over on Ferrari, over to him. Shadow's trying to slow him down. X, Torrent again. Chuan makes way. Oh yeah, that's a little bit off. And Ferrari just says, screw it.
It almost mattered that he mistimed it, but then again, it's just Ferrari who's like, okay, I have to use my Sonic Wave on it, so be it. Let's secure the kill and move on. 11 for nil. Absolute power demonstration here from IG, and they're going to try to turn it into something even bigger right now. Moving in against the Stone guy. I don't know if EG are in any sort of position to deal with this at this point. YYF at the same time pushing down the bottom lane here. What do you do at this point?
You can't really do anything, unfortunately. Like, the team fight is just too strong. Yutani's not doing enough damage, and he doesn't have enough survivability anyway, because he keeps losing the Wisp, who's meant to be his massive buff up here. Now, Queen of Pain's got Nagus Immortal, and Chuan already got another one. Torrent, again, mistiming it, as well as the ship. It flies over the top, and the Avalanche toss in a Ferrari. He's low on life, but 8-1 charges, as well as the Aegis Immortal. Uses the 1 charges, now the Aegis does trigger. So at least EG got themselves half a kill. But they'll come in for more. That Chrono is still, well, it's off cooldown. He's almost got, look at it. Dude, he's 400 gold away. He's going to have an Aghanim Scepter by 18 minutes into the game on YYF. This guy is so fat. You have a level 3 Necro book over on Invoker with another 1,200 gold. Faith has Arcane, Urn, and Magic Wand. Kunkka, what's he splurging on? He's almost finished a Shadow Blade over on the Kunkka.
There is only one way for EG to come back in this game now, and it all rests with their AoE combo. They have to hit some sort of a setup arrow or a really good relocate opener so that they can get an epicenter on top of the natural order. Else I don't think they can control IG elsewise. They have to. But again, EG, if there's any team that can make the comeback by playing an amazing team fight, it's going to be EG. But they have to be feeling the pressure right now. They must be feeling so helpless. A 17-minute game without a kill? I mean, there's one thing to be behind, but it has to be pretty demoralizing.
A bottom lane is the relocate. Really coming from YYF. He leaps away. He can chrono 4 heroes right now if he wants to get himself out of here. A arrow's coming down is too high. Yeah, too low. Now, Chrono over on 2. Zai, relocate will pull out Arteezy, but the Sunstrike connects on Mason. Ferrari will capitalize. The SK goes down. The volley is away to safety. And the Wisp and Tiny have to return towards the middle lane. They'll be adding some pressure towards the tier 1 tower, but already Luo is on the rotation for that one, and they back up. 12 for 0. We might have gone to a third and final deciding match right now, man, but IG are doing a wonderful display of how to play high-class Dota.
I didn't think it was possible to crush EG this hard. They've been looking so good in this tournament, and in this game they are just falling completely apart.
Yeah, I really feel like, and there was like, I know I made the reference like, that's a lot of lights, Black playing with a Blink Dagger and going for that kind of strat. But your massive problem that came with that is sometimes it comes a little bit too late. And what do you really get that you don't get from a support SK? Because all you're looking for is a Blink Dagger Burrow Strike, maybe into a nice high-level epicenter early on. But that takes time. Normally you can farm up that in the jungle with no problem whatsoever. And then you get something else from your carry. This is the downside about the combination they were running. The idea though was very similar to like running a Centaur on the safe lane. Because if you do that with a Centaur on the safe lane, you get a quick Blink Dagger and you transition into something big. The problem is Centaur has a Stomp as well as a double edge. So he has a lot of burst damage when he jumps in. That's not there with the SK.
Yeah, I think you've got a point. EG could have chosen to give Mirana the farm up top and let Sand King be a support, but at the same time, I guess Void would have got even more out of that, and I don't know if the support Sand King would have come online at the time they would have wanted. Then in that case, he will still be faster when he gets free farm on the lane, and since they wanted the jungle as a comeback mechanism anyway, or as a way of getting ahead for Arteezy, they couldn't really let Sand King farm that, because then the Tiny would have had less farm, so that would have been a different kind of game at least. But at this point, what EG still, what they have to look at, or as already mentioned, but I'll just repeat it, they have to find a good team fight. There is no other way. A single pick-off or two will not make the difference here. It has to be the full wombo combo. And the problem with that is, if they want to initiate into IG, they obviously first of all have to land their abilities really well, but I think they have to get Chuan in the combo, because else the Ghost Ship will keep them alive.
Reach him. Now
There's the X
Torrent. He's got it over on Zai, and Zai, he actually tethered away. He evades Sunstrike, he evades Ship, and he will TP himself away to safety halfway through the tether. Beautiful play there by Zai.
And by the way, we didn't point this out, but Chuan is playing a support Kunkka. I think he got a 17-minute shadow play.
Yeah, he did, man.
Oh boy, he can even transition into a mid-late game carry with this farm. It's actually similar to the amount of farm you would have if you were a semi-shut down carry in this game. So because of that, if IG feels like they need it, they can play the late game too. They have plenty of cores, obviously a 4-core lineup if they decide to play it like that. Whereas EG, they're kind of limited to the Tiny. Mirana could have been a core, but they decided to put it on the Sand King. And his potential, or his best moment, is coming up in a moment when he hits level 11. And if they don't make it count at that point, Sand King's farm will just not be relevant compared to what IG are getting.
That's very true, man. That's very, very true. I think IG, though, have way too much. They gotta TP themselves back out again. YYF, like, he's defending himself up. This is a nice thing to actually see over on Arteezy. This is like a glimmer of hope for those American fans out there to see an Aghanim Scepter already over on the Tiny. This is something which may be enough. With a good epicenter, with the Spirit Downs, you're saying that cleave damage which just kicks in, and Avalanche Toss combination. They need IG, though, to be in too close. They still need IG to be out of position, and if anything this tournament has told us, IG will not give them that opportunity. So EG have to force the opportunity. They have to either bait with Mason or just bait with something that's out there, and IG need to bite.
Yeah, even if IG bites the bait, they still have so many good defensive abilities, though. They have the Chronosphere to buy time. You generally don't want to buy time with that, but as a way of counter-initiating, if someone gets caught out, they can, of course, turn it around. Let's call it a turnaround mechanism then. They've got Shadow Demon's Disruption for the same purpose, and, as mentioned before, they've got the Ghost Ship. I just don't know. If you're EG, who do you want to open on? Let's say you get to target one hero and let that be your opener. Imagine you hit the arrow. Can you actually even go on your target? Like, no matter who it is, if it's Kunkka, he gets disrupted. If it's Shadow Demon, they fire the ship. If it's anyone else, they could use both.
And
the turnaround potential is just amazing here from IG, loving the way they've played out this draft.
I'm pretty sure IG, out of everyone they want to actually get, it's going to be, I know I might be controversial with this one, but I'd actually say they're going to focus on Luo. That guy brings a lot. Oh, Chuan. Torrent. Oh, use Sandstorm to evade it. Burrow strikes away.
I think since Chuan leveled up
YYF! Here's your moment. YYF in Chronos. Oh, moment lost. Moment lost. Moment regretted. Zai will go down and YYF. He's like, well, I don't want to do this. The Torrent was coming in case the Tiny would chase. The Moonlight Shadow was protecting him. Obviously, the Chrono will keep the Invis units being revealed. But Zai will go down.
It's actually really funny to see Chuan. Since he leveled up X marks the spot to level 3, I think he's pretty much missed every single X-Torrent combination.
Well, normally he holds like level 2 just because it makes it so easy.
They've missed a kill or two because of it, just showing that the human, nice arrow from PPD onto Ferrari here in the mid lane, but I don't know if they have their follow-up. Mason is just in the nick of time going to hit the burrow.
There's still BKB right now, and he's running himself away. For some reason also, Tiny. He got denied up on the high ground. It must be in the Shadow Strike denial.
I'm running out of things to say. This is one of the best performances I have ever seen, and I have watched a lot of Dota and Dota 2.
Universe? Throws the Spirit right next to Ferrari after he realizes he's there. Man, I don't think there is, like as far as like what you would say about this matchup, you just say IG, they're played flawlessly. They're going to keep playing flawlessly as well, and they're going to keep not getting controlled by EG. Once all these BKBs start to flood in for Invictus Gaming, it's only a matter of time, and Invictus Gaming have to build their items, either get pickoffs outside the base, so they can breach in with like 2 heroes of EG down, or they just get Pipe and Mech and get up towards the high ground. Mech's already been ticked. Pipe is actually not even being built. So I assume they just think Necro 3 books and pick off outside the base is going to be enough. That's one way to do it. And then they're just going to make sure they keep their aggressive warding up. You see EG, they're trying to search for him too. Like, sentry wards are being dropped. They leave observer wards out themselves so they can try and keep tabs on when IG are trying to initiate in. But it's still a rather risky kind of endeavor, because even going out for this is difficult. But maybe if the BKB can come up on Tiny, he feel a little bit more confident, because then it's only, actually no, you're still going to get controlled up by Purge. The ship's still going to be a problem for you, and the Void Chrono's going to be a problem.
They're going to claim the first kill of the game in the bot lane. Tower going the way of Arteezy. The first bright point in a 25-minute game for EG, and the crowd is going to cheer a lot. EG are definitely going to need it at this point. They are so far behind. Once again, I don't think I've seen this roster being this far behind, and I'm saying they're a great team at playing from behind. This one would be the comeback of the year if they manage to pull this off. They do have the right heroes for it. I am definitely not counting them out just yet, but it's going to be a combination of flawless play from EG and serious mistakes from IG, which they've like made none in this game.
X didn't get it from time. If you can see him, the Torrent, it's not going to land in time. PPD's out. TP's away to safety. And it's just so difficult to actually, it is actually difficult to catch out most EG heroes. Between Relocate, like SK is still a very elusive hero between his Sandstorm, Blink, Dagger, Barra Strike. And then Tiny, well, he's kind of like a beefy kind of guy. He's already got the 4 points up in the crack. He's got the 4-4-4 too. Obviously, level 16, he'll finally get that last level up and grow. And his cleave damage will do a lot of work. But this Tiny really needs his BKB. And actually, oh, look at the timing for it. Mason, Torrent, Ship, Sunstrike. This time he doesn't evade.
Oh boy.
And now they're getting out. The BKB still coming in on that courier. And it needs to get the Ferrari.
He got it.
No, he got it in time. He got it in time. It delivered before he got pulled back, but Zai, he dragged Arteezy to the bottom lane without a TP scroll, and he's coming back up to the top lane right now. And Ferrari, Orchid, and he just had to do, well, he didn't even get to do a scream. That's just insulting. Didn't even have to scream with him to bring him down. It was just a straight up Shadow Strike and attack. And IG, this is what I'm talking about. 2 heroes down, you got the advantage, you push the high ground. Chrono's up, Necro books are only freshly used. The ET split is going to try and slow this down, but it does nothing to the Necro units. It slows down the creep wave. The arrow comes out, Necro unit tanks it, but the tower's already down to basically 1/5 of his life points, and it's going to drop even faster. Universe is there, another Spirit towards the front lines, but YYF doesn't give two hoots. He's got himself a double.
Ferrari goes in with the Orchid and BKB onto Mason.
He's got him. Sunstrike even coming in. Mason. Perfect from Luo. Nails him on the way out. Now Arteezy, can he get the first kill? He's looking at Ferrari. Chrono, YYF, BKB as well. Universe going to stop, holding Faith out of here. Luo, he's in the middle of the fight, and this BKB is going to wear off in a moment. One swing, but look, he's halfway through it. He can't finish the job. 18-0, Invictus Gaming. They're inside the base of EG, crushing the spirits of America right now. China, they are going to take out this mid-melee Rex. And EG, what else can they do? They throw an arrow out. They at least get a 5-second turnover on Luo. But what is Zai doing? He's like, spirits, that's it. There's nothing more. There is nothing more. And IG will back out and give him some space to breathe for the moment. And they'll reinsert when Chrono is back off cooldown in 18 seconds.
I think IG will be taking a lot of pride in the fact that they could perhaps end the game against EG with 0 kills on EG's side. I think that's actually going to be the goal for them right now. They know how far ahead they are. They want the perfect game to make the ultimate statement of ending this tournament with style. This is absolutely unbelievable.
It's such a big thing as well, like going into TI4 in only a week's time from now. Invictus Gaming, some people might have really been thinking, hey, maybe these guys aren't the best. Nubian DK is what everyone was talking about and watching. Due to the, out of China, they think these guys are the biggest hope, but Invictus Gaming have come here. They've battled up against some of the top teams. In fact, all of the top teams coming out from Europe as well as America. And right now, they're really just playing a beautiful game of Dota.
They've destroyed 2 Chinese tournaments going into this one, and now they are here at ESL 1.
This I am
this
not
kind of performance.
Sure about at all.
It is a must play.
I am not sure
Hail
about
Mary
this.
is necessary.
This is just like balls deep. Can they actually get out? Ferrari goes in, BKB, they'll have a crack. Maybe epicenter from Mason. Boris tries to YYF. Chrono hasn't gone on just yet. Ferrari, he's getting bashed up by Roshan. Now the Chrono. Ship as well. It's 2 heroes down, 3 heroes down. It's going to be Arteezy as well. GG, well played. The Chinese have got it. It is a flawless game from Invictus Gaming. They are the winners of ESL 1 Frankfurt.
And we present to you the winners of the ESL 1 Frankfurt 2014 IG! And we're gonna let you celebrate in just a second. Before that, I just want to quickly know, how was it to play in front of this incredible audience in this wonderful stadium? What went through your head during those games? And just anything you want to say to the fans watching and anyone who has been at this event.
比赛，你们整个队伍的感受怎么样？因为让你们看到了整个在一个足球场上的比赛，那你们整个队有什么感受来参加这个 ESL One？
就是很开心可以来到世界杯足球场打 Dota 吧，然后也没有想到会有今天这一天，也很开心可以夺冠，然后也很感谢这里的粉丝很热情，谢谢你们，然后也谢谢支持 IG 的人，谢谢。
Okay, this is the first time IG has been inside the World Cup Stadium, and they have been very, very happy for the fan support who have came down to this tournament, and they are very pleased with the turnout as well. So they are very, very happy with participating in this ESL One tournament today.
That's so nice to hear. Thank you so much and congratulations to IG. And one last time, I'm gonna head over to our analyst desk.
Thanks very much, Zoe. Congratulations to Invictus Gaming, champions of ESL 1 Frankfurt. And they are absolutely overjoyed with it. I can only say, guys, that there isn't such a thing as the perfect game, but I think we might just have seen the closest thing to it yet.
You know, I'm gonna read this piece. A perfect game is defined by the Major League of Baseball as a game in which a pitcher pitches a victory that lasts a minimum of 9 innings and in which no opposing player reaches base. In Dota 2, there's a much easier definition, and you just saw it.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We're going to break down a few things in the game as well, and just, you know, pick apart the bones of the defeat that we've just seen from EG as well. In some ways, I guess, Mal, it takes the pressure off Evil Geniuses going into the international. That's a small sliver of hope that we can give them after that crushing defeat in Game 3.
They're not the ones that will be looked at the most,
Quite.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see the strategy coming out from IG in the last game. Ben, Seven Eye were sitting really comfortably down, smiling at each other and being like, this is gonna be good. And it was gonna be good. amazing performance by IG. Like, what teamwork and what strategy. You saw the middle lane get completely dominated by the Invoker combo on top of the Shadow Demon and Kunkka. There was nothing they could do.
Yeah, I mean, crazily, in a way, we said game one, EG played really well. Seb said IG could have won that if they played it slightly differently, but EG with the team in game one, we gave them that. In game two, it seemed like IG found another gear. And if they found another gear in game two, what the hell gear were they in game three?
It was just impressive. That was just another level from IG. You know, they were already looking at like one of the strongest teams in the tournament, and they made it, you know, even next level. It was just the perfect game the whole time. EG didn't manage to actually force them, you know, into their play style, you know, their comfort zone. So IG just showed them how strong they can be, and this is, I think, one of the most like strange drafts we've seen from them. You know, unusual. And they're strongest as well, so that says a lot about that.
It does. It was almost like, I guess, you know, they weren't necessarily saving anything for the international. They were saving something for game 3 of the grand final. It seemed a bit odd. I'd also like to remind you, Seb, that you're going to need your credit card this evening.
All right. I'm going to ask maybe IG to help me out with that.
They've got a few bob as well, as we like to say in England. Over $80,000 to their name added, as well as that superb, huge 20-kilogram ESL 1 trophy is theirs to take back. I wouldn't like to pay the extra bill on the luggage, though, at the airport.
It's going to be tricky. That's going to be a huge, huge amount of luggage. But they also got $80,000, so again...
They can take it out of that.
They can take it out.
Melini, it has been a terrific weekend all overall. It's been a terrific final as well. And we are going to take a look at the very last fight in the grand final in Game 3. Talk us through it.
Well, here at the Roshan Pit, Ferrari got the jump with BKB, and that was pretty much the beginning of the end. A fantastic boat into Chronosphere about to come up onto Mason. And speaking of Mason, I mean, he just couldn't do anything. He's your safe lane farmer. He's where you rely on in your 10 to 15 minute phase after your early game. Goes to absolute poop.
Okay. I don't want to pick on anyone, but I have to say, Mason.
I mean, when you look at the series,
just saying.
I mean, you look at the series. The first game, he was on the Brewmaster. He was like being focused by the Doom, right? But he didn't really appear in that first game. The second game, he was on the Doombringer, and he had a really hard time as well. And same goes for the third game. And that player, like, he proved himself right in the tournament. So I'm pretty sure now he must be like, I maybe missed an opportunity to prove myself again or try to help my team more. I mean, it happens, you know. And
Now,
this is better to have this happen right now than at TI.
Yeah, Melk, you've picked on a few people this weekend. I'm going to give you the opportunity to either, you know, carry on that road or get off.
Well, if we're talking about Mason, he definitely didn't bring it in the grand final. He surely didn't. He wasn't the one that they went. He wasn't the go-to player. Not the same way that IG could go to Luo. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. He was not performing up to par.
Okay. Any as we go around the table, their final thoughts, Bruno. Wrap up ESL 1 Frankfurt. What is it meant to you, and what is it meant to Dota 2?
I mean, we have so many people here coming today, and so many more people watching from the stream. And I know for the people coming here, because I've been talking to a lot of them, this really, really means a lot. It's the first time something this big has happened in Europe for Dota 2. It's going to be something to be remembered for the ages. And if you guys in the crowd are going to remember, we and the players are totally going to remember, because without you there wouldn't be an ESL 1, and the players wouldn't have such a great moment like it is today.
Absolutely right. Melini, highlights?
Yeah, it's just amazing, and I think Vici could actually take a page from the book of IG on how to deal with Tiny Wisp, but overall, tournament's amazing. I wouldn't say the results were completely unexpected. I think the shutout was, though. And
the shutout definitely unexpected, but the winner, not so much.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing before I get your final thoughts, gents. The MVP award has been won. And it's not been won by any of the players that were picked on the panel. Admiral Bulldog is your MVP for the 2014 ESL 1 Frankfurt. Surprised?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
There's no accounting for taste.
Perfectly fine. Yeah. DreamHack, yeah. You
could. Maybe it's a delayed reaction MVP.
Probably a bit of a fanboy detector going off there.
Your final thoughts, guys. Firstly, Seb, memories. What will you take away from ESL 1 Frankfurt?
It was simply amazing. And as I said already, I think it's just, you know, a whole new level. we're getting on the whole new level, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and we've got the internationals still to come, so it just keeps getting better and better. Malk?
Yeah, I'm actually amazed by how quickly the crowd left again, and
They've
how
left us
quiet it all of a sudden got. I've been so used to the buzzing from 10,000 people behind me that it's suddenly, I feel all alone, Paul.
Yeah, well, there's still plenty of fans, but they're kind of surrounding IG right now.
Oh, that's where they are.
Yeah,
okay.
they're down in the corner, trying to stop them from leaving the stage area, I think. But yes, they're having fun down there. What was the favourite thing this weekend for you?
Upsets, and whenever action happened that the crowd could really get into. Not so much this game 3. It didn't really happen.
So
I mean, I think the one time there was cheering for EG was when RTC took a tower uncontested.
Yay!
But yeah, definitely, like when you feel 10,000 people cheering for something happening inside the game, you get this warm feeling inside.
Yeah.
I love that. I've been playing Dota for 10 years, and this is what I've been waiting for.
It's like Christmas.
As simple as that. It's
Yeah,
like Christmas.
Absolutely. That's a good note to leave it on. We do have a few thank yous, of course. As ever, we wouldn't be able to do this without our sponsors. So our very deepest thanks to Asus, to Intel, and Need for Speed, Need for Seat. Nearly said Need for Speed. You always catch me out on that one, but they make great chairs nevertheless. As I said, Asus, Intel, Need for Seat, Twitch, and Razer, and to everyone that has supported us via the community funding for the prize pool. Over $80,000 won for the winners. I'd also like to say a very big thank you for the people that I've personally worked with this weekend. To the commentary team, of course, Merlini, great job this weekend, alongside Capitalist, really enjoying his first ever event. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without mentioning Sidran and Toby Wong for their fantastic commentary in the grand final. And also to you three guys as well, Seb, Malcolm, Bruno, absolutely fabulous working with you as well. And to all of our guests that we had on throughout the weekend as well. They were all absolutely brilliant in their own individual, unique, passionate ways. That is it from ESL 1 Frankfurt 2014. It seems a shame to go, but we've had an absolute blast. Dota 2 was fantastic for me. Hope it was as fantastic for you. Good night.